one of the things that struck me was about 5,000 days ago, you had a talk called The Next 5,000 Days of the Internet. And you describe a massive system that turns into quote unquote the one, and that makes us think similarly, like we all think similarly. And what's interesting to me is that in researching for your book, you call the book an ode to otherness. And we study all the same things in school and watch the same movies, but and we have the same ideas, but this book is about differences. So, how do you think about that juxtaposition?
Yeah. It's a good question. So my observation of traveling for 49 years now in Asia is that many parts of Asia, particularly the cities, are converging in their culture around the world. Besides Asia, if you took a photograph of people walking in the city and you took out the signs for the language, it'd be very hard to tell what city you were in. So, so we do seem to be converging on this thing. And one of the common dreams of most any young person in the world is they would love to have a nice, waterproof, air-conditioned box that has Wi-Fi in it to live in. And that's common. It's a common dream, and we are kind of, I believe, constructing kind of a global culture. While that's going on, the villages around the world, particularly in Asia, where I'm familiar with, are emptying. Their young people are leaving. It gets very hard to kind of maintain any kind of economic activity if the young people have left. They're moving into cities which are swelling, and so the danger is that when we are connected to each other 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year, it becomes more and more difficult to have different ideas, to think differently. And I think people will have to work extra hard to try and think differently. So I've been compiling this book of what's being left of the Asia that's vanishing as people leave and they don't do these traditions or costumes and things any longer. I think there's perfectly valid reasons why they're disappearing. I'm not trying to stop it. I'm not trying to recover them. I'm not trying to protect them. I'm just saying we should know about them because they have a seed of difference and otherness in them. So I think this book and others like it play a role in helping us, prompting us to have different ideas, to think differently, to understand that the common solutions that we have around the world for how do we find food, what do we eat, what do we dress, what does our space look like, that these solutions that have been engineered and evolved over thousands of years still have some value for us to know about. There will be inspiration for us doing things differently in the future. They probably will go away. I'm, again, not trying to stop that. I am merely saying, as they go, we should record and document them because they have within them some genius that might be useful to us in the future.
What genius do you think that is?
Well, the genius is, let's say, um, humans have a need to collectively come together to celebrate things. COVID only proves that that is a human desire. And so, in the West, we have music concerts. And they're kind of boring at some level because they're all the same. And then you have something like Burning Man come along, which was an entirely different way of making something where you said, look, we're not going to put on a show. You're going to put on a show. The audience is going to make the show. The audience is going to entertain each other. We'll give you a big blank area. You come, you build whatever it is, and then you entertain each other. Well, that some of the seeds of that can be found in places like some of the Kumbh Mela in India, which is you have 30 million people coming together on a riverbed, and they make an instant city, and they construct the temporary city to entertain each other, and then it's taken down, and that's kind of like Burning Man. So in these kinds of things are the elements of some future innovation. So you go to these festivals, and these festivals have within them the germ of genius, some idea, some innovation that can be reused into the modern world. So costuming, it's very inconvenient, but maybe the colors can be. Right now, I say, in this era, there's a fashion for black, everything's black. But what about color? Color is free. Could we imagine having a very colorful outfits? Yes, you could. You can see it over here, where they still have these colors and the beauty that they have. So these are the examples of the genius, where buried in these ancient traditions are a solution that can be reused today.